the grid is much more stable than in any other part of the world. So we see a huge opportunities for data centers shifting to India and being served by renewable power.
Parag, it's a pleasure to have you here. Thanks for coming. I'd like to start asking you to introduce yourself and tell us a bit more about Zelestra Energy, please.
Thanks, pleasure to be here, and thanks GRI for hosting me. I work in the renewable space. I've been working in Indian power sector for the last 30 years. Uh, Previous to forming Zelstra, I founded O2 Power, which was a renewable platform, and it built 2 gigawatt of renewable assets. And finally, we were able to successfully give an exit to our investors, which were EQT and Tamasek. And the same investor, EQT, decided to start a new renewable platform in India. And that's how we started this journey by acquiring Zelstra's India business. That's in brief my background.
That's great. We are always talking about power when we talk about data centers. So, how is your view today in India in the sense that do we have enough power for all the data center requirements that is coming in the near future? Is the grid going to support? I'd like to hear about your thoughts on that.
I think India this year has done around 50 gigawatt of renewables in the year 2025, which means that we are on the path to be the second largest in terms of solar capacity addition and third largest in terms of wind capacity addition. So, in terms of execution, we see that yes, all these projects are getting executed. Last year, these numbers were more close to 30. Today, it is 50. Maybe the next year, it will be even better. There are obviously challenges like grid and other challenges, but we see slowly the C&I market will grow in India. Utility market may slightly be stable or slow down. In summary, situation in India is not as bad as US, where PJM says that they have a 60 gigawatt of shortage over the next 1 decade. Here in India, we have lot of renewable capacity which can be built for serving data centers. The grid is much more stable than in any other part of the world. So we see a huge opportunities for data centers shifting to India and being served by renewable power.
That's great. And when we talk about power, of course, the hot topic of the moment is AI consumption, right? So we have been hearing that the power needed in the near future is going to be 60 times bigger than the current average that we have been seeing for the past years.
Yeah.
So that means higher infrastructure evolution. So how is Alestra working on that? What's the plans for the future in terms of capacity?
Typically, in a large renewable platform in India, uh, 80% or 85% would be utility scale power plant where we will be supplying power to the distribution companies. And only 10-15% will be for the C&I, which we call it as private PPAs. But going forward, looking at the way the AI led demand will lead to more data centers, which will lead to more power consumption,
Mhm.
we believe that there's a lot to do for players like us. This ratio of 80-20 may shift to 30-40 or may shift to 30 to 40% of power being supplied to the C&I consumers. So that's the way we believe things will move. We will be serving a lot more as compared to previous years to data centers.
Great. In the sense of new policies change or new support from the government, specifically in terms of renewable energy, is there anything that is still needed? How do you see that?
Look, a lot can be done. So the list is very long, but first and the foremost, India needs to push its way for building a much larger grid. First time over the years, we see a bit of a congestion in states like Rajasthan and Gujarat. So, learning from that, we need to push our grid network build out very fast. The second is that I know that all forms of energies are important, and India is also trying to add 90 gigawatt of coal based power plants, but renewable is more cleaner, renewable is more cheaper, So there's no reason why renewables take a back seat. So we should try minimizing the need of adding coal-based power plants, and priority should be given to renewable at a policy level. And this list goes on, but renewable touchwood is doing very well in India. If couple of more steps are taken, it can really be good for India.
Great. Parag, is there anything that keeps you awake at night today?
Execution risk, as so much of land is required to execute a renewable project. It's becoming difficult to acquire land. It is becoming difficult to lay large transmission lines. It is becoming difficult to get approvals. So everything for executing a renewable project is becoming difficult as we go uh, day on. So a lot of support is required, and the local law and order situations, the policy level support, the support of local administration, all that is required by us. Otherwise, we will keep having the sleepless nights.
That's great. Is there any message, any final message you'd like to share with our audience or for our global audience, not only the Indians, about the data center market here?
I think currently we all have a consensus view that the biggest constraint in growth of data center is power. And sooner than later, we have to move data centers closer to the grid substation, because it's not just the building of renewable projects, it is also the transmission line. And the second leg, the transmission line, is much more difficult than building the power plants. So that's why we have to solve the problem of fibers and move, because the reason why data centers are closer to the landing station, which is the C point, is a fiber. So we have to solve the problem of fiber and allow data centers to be closer to the grid substation. And only then we can have large scale data centers fed by renewables or any other form of power plants.
That's great. Parag, thanks for coming. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure talking to you.